always say we are the best. Certainly we are the best because we understand what it takes to be the best. The program is this morning on ITV and Wednesday's edition. My name is Evan Sunobuki. Welcome to the program. Well, the third day of the month of June 2026. Yeah, the third day. So I didn't mix that now. All right, so always not alone on Wednesday's edition. I have my co-anchors, beautiful, pretty, elegant looking, Anualuwa Bob. Stebbins is already here. I know a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Evans. Happy New Month.
Well, happy New Month to you too. It's a new month, and the way I don't want to say the time it's somehow fast, but somehow it's something that we expect. I mean, every day time keeps on moving and moving and moving. And before you know, the time just goes off. So it is the system. So happy New Month too.
Of course.
Yeah, we say good morning.
Yeah, month of June, half of the year.
Yeah.
And the time just keep on ticking. Well, it's the year. What next? Nigeria, how are you doing this morning? Nigerian story somehow, but all the same, we are here, we are alive, we give thanks to God. As a nation, we'll definitely put through this dark, murky era.
Definitely, the country is bleeding, there's no doubt about it. And of course, that's the reason why we're going to be looking at some, I don't want to say I'm tired of discussing security issues in the country, but we must talk about them. We must talk about the issues, as they relate to insecurity and all that. I mean, in the news, we saw a victim killed in Iowa here, even after the payment of by 11 million ransom, when we mention names from certain parts of the country, a lot of persons are not so comfortable. But with that news, we saw the alleged, kidnapper, from a certain part of the country.
Right. So whilst we're talking about the one that happened here in Edo State, let's not also forget the national one that we have with online and offline, but everybody currently talking about it. Yesterday we saw the NUT, stage a peaceful protest and have in fact called for an indefinite strike to air their voices regarding the sad situation in the country at the moment, erupting from what happened in Oyo State, May 15th, 2026, where bandits, and now the Nigerian army is saying that these particular bandits have connections with the Boko Haram. They went to 3 schools in Orirere local government area, right there at the heart of Ogbomosho in Oyo State. It's really, really dear to me because Oyo State is actually my state, and seeing all of these things emanate from Oyo State all of a sudden, it's really a pathetic one. Over time, now also to put it out there now that this incident has actually entered the 19th day. Yesterday it was the 18th day, and now it's the 19th day, and 14 days after, we saw the federal government send, delegation to go meet these guys, and now the presidency is saying we're going to get 1,000 forest guards to protect the persons there. But would that work is another big question. The issue of national security has become a conversation that has come to stay because of what we get to see every single time. I cannot imagine parents, teachers, how they would actually feel right now, and despite it all, we're seeing politicking in different nooks and crannies of the area. And just as I would say often, it says a lot about the kind of personalities that we have in leadership. How long are we going to continue like this? And now this is one of the most emanating incidents that has happened over time with school abductions, and it reminds us about the one that happened in Chibok and also the Dapchi incident. And it's where we are, and it's really a sad one. We can only hope and pray, because even the president said we should pray. The Minister of Defense said Nigerians should pray. So we are praying. And also just yesterday, Ken actually called for a state of emergency in security or insecurity in Nigeria. Is that the way forward? Would that even work? It's another big question on the table.
Big question. We must pray the way we've been praying. I mean, if you look at it, tomorrow is going to be the United Nations Day for Innocent Children, and they're going to be looking at their victims of aggression. I mean, this kind of discussions, it's very, very important now, because these kids we are talking about under the incarceration of these kidnappers, they are innocent kids.
Right.
A 2-year-old child that doesn't know anything, you kidnap the child. It's very, very touching. Very, very touching.
If you take a look at the situation, Nigerians are one afraid, they're apprehensive, and they're getting angry.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't mix emotions, so to speak. Now, I read the news last night and I got to realize that the guy that was apprehended mentioned, and then they said he's Fulani. He mentioned it. It was on social media, in fact, everywhere. They know that some persons from this tribe are given this tribe a negative name. You get to see them, they don't even hood up anymore, they don't mask up anymore. They tell you, this is who we are, this is our faith, we are doing it because of our faith. And I keep on wondering, why would your faith, for crying out loud, make the country uncomfortable? Why would your faith, for crying out loud, make others see you as an enemy of the state? Now, you talked about prayers. I believe in prayers, but take a look at Israel. Did they pray for their own, Hezbollah, so to speak, that has been attacking them? Did they pray that God should neutralize Hezbollah? What are they doing? They are hammering them. Fire for fire. Let's go to China. Are you going to see any of these things happening in China? Zheng is always there, top of his game. If he discovers that one or two is already in the state, he knows what to do. He sent this process there to neutralize them. Take a look at Putin. Yes, it's better Ukraine, of course we know that. But if there is an insurgent or someone trying to destabilize the state, he takes action, swift action, fire for fire. Of course, Donald Trump, you guys know the story too well. He saved the life of an average American. For all Americans, sacrosanct, to touch one of them, he would drop bombs upon bombs. That's why he speaks about, and he meant it. So what is Mr. President doing? Yes, it is true that some person want to cash in on it, want to bring the political sentiment. You know that this guy will want to mess your administration up. What are you doing to redeem your name, redeem your administration? Yeah, is it all about praying for crying out loud? You are the commander-in-chief. Do something.
Yeah, we're saying,
do something.
I understand your emotions. You don't understand your emotions.
It's annoying, really. It's truly annoying.
And I want to thank the authorities of NUT Edo State. I mean, they came out yesterday to protest. They just came out yesterday to protest. And of course, we understand that other states, NUT, also did that. Then also, I want to say a very big thank you to the chairman of NUT Edo State, Mr. Lucky Imawogome, that's the name now. So it was a peaceful protest yesterday, there's no doubt. So let's, I just pray that the authorities involved, because Oyo State NUT, as we speak now, primary school, secondary schools in Oyo State, they shut down, so that is going to snowball into other states. Other states will start keying in, and before you know it, we're going to have a total shutdown of the schools.
Shutting down of the schools in the agenda of the terrorists in Nigeria. Boko Haram, Muslim education is bad. Shut down the schools. That means I don't win in this world.
Anyway, we're not alone on this program. We've got our co-anchors. Lagos is right there. Of course, Abuja. So I'll just like taking up. Okay, we've got Lagos here. We'll have Patricia Daniels. Patricia, a very good morning to you. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, Evans. It's good to see you on the screen this morning.
All right, we also have Tolu. Tolu, good morning.
Evans, from the Abuja studio right there. And I must start with something that you people talked about the state of insecurity, kidnapping that is really happening all over the place. We thought initially probably we've been experiencing pockets of kidnapping, bandit attack in some parts of the southwest, but not to this level of them taking it to schools. And that's really is a palpable fear that is in the minds of millions of residents of Oyo State at this point in time. Wesley just mentioned the fact that they are shutting down schools, and I think that's going to be the fallout, and that's what the enemy wants us to do at this point in time, to instill fear in people and make people not want to go out again. And we can't get to that level. We definitely can't get to that. But the onus also rests on us on what are we doing as individuals. What is local government doing? Local government chairmen, what are they doing? Because they are supposed to be the first line of security, protecting their community. Then what is the state governors? What are the state governors doing concerning this? Because you ask yourself, if the plan of the federal government to have direct line of transfer of funds to the state, to the local government chairmen are in place, then the local government chairmen are also responsible for the security of their community. And unfortunately, we are experiencing a situation whereby the governors determine who gets to become the local government. If you happen not to be the party, you'll be forced to toe the line and join them. At the end of the day, the government has a way of streamlining what you spend. And this is really sad, and that's one of the major challenges we are facing right now. Nobody is talking about it. But if the local government chairman are also empowered to be able to take decisions for the people in the local government to be able to hold them responsible, that way they will also know that the security at their local community is very, very important. We can talk about a whole lot of things. We can blame the federal government for not doing anything, for not doing enough. But what are we doing at the local government level? Are we holding our local government chairman? I could remember way back then in the 80s when we used to have local government in Lagos State, in Agege area. And there was a time the people were not happy with the local government chairman. They went to his house to protest, talking about some of the things he has failed to do. That is what's supposed to be. People at the local government level should also be able to, the local government chairman responsible for some acts that are going on in the community, and the local government chairman are not doing anything about it. But this time around, the reverse is the case. Most of the burden goes to the state governors and probably from there to the federal government, and that is really sad. And I think we need to start holding things down at that level. And that's what we'll surely be looking at from the Abuja studio, because we'll be talking with a retired brigadier general, talking about security, talking about the first line of security, and how we can be able to go back and ensure that we keep our community safe before we think about keeping the country safe as a country.
So that's what we're also going to be talking about in Edo State, in Benin here, talking about the May 15th abduction in Oyo State. Then, public safety debacle, that's the way it is now. We're going to be having the chairman of NUT in Edo State and also the commissioner of public safety in Edo State. So we'll take a short pause now so that we'll bring the corporate trainer into the program this morning, Inwalata Lusakai.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
bully we're talking
That's
about.
what I said.
So
So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold.
Inuagata no Sakai is my name, and you are especially welcome to this segment of the program. And today, being the first Wednesday of the month of June, I'm going to be starting a new topic on different leadership styles and their impacts on workplace dynamics. Now, the leadership style or the leadership approach you will use in a civil service environment or sorry for that break in transmission. It was due to some technical glitches. Inuagata no Sakai is my name, and you are especially welcome to this segment of the program. And we are starting a new series today. It's on different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics. Different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics. Now, the kind of leadership style you will use in the banking environment, or you will use in the civil service, or use in the maybe a school environment may not work if you apply it to some other workplace environment. So the problem of leadership oftentimes is not lack of intelligence. It's oftentimes, the ability of a leader to be able to transition, from one leadership style to another as situation changes. One pattern of leadership, one model of leadership, one style or approach of leadership is not an all-fit-all style or all-fit-all approach. You should be smart enough to know as a leader that I should be able to, at this time around, based on this present situation, I should be able to change my leadership approach. And this morning, I'm going to be introducing the different leadership styles, that we have, that experts have put together. And then as we progress into the series, we will be using case scenario, model or template to study them and make them very practical. We are looking at different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics. Now, the first leadership style we have here is coercive leadership style. Now, the coercive leadership style is the command leadership style that says, do as I do or do what I say. Now, this kind of leadership style is very helpful in crisis management. It's very helpful in a situation where there is emergency, very helpful in that kind of situation. You say, do as I say, do what I want, do what I tell you to do. Now, for example, there was a situation in the particular manufacturing company in Benin, and there was always accident in the shop floor. There was always a case of workplace accidents in the manufacturing floor, and then the production manager had to engage the coercive leadership style to state emphatically that nobody goes into the manufacturing or shop floor without putting on safety gears. Now, this works because safety is more important than debate. This is not time to dialogue. This is not time to debate. This is time to insist on what will help. Now, the drawback of the coercive leadership style, remember the coercive leadership style is the leadership style. It is the leadership style that says, do what I say, do what I tell you. The drawback is that if it is overused, it is going to demoralize team members very well. It's going to demoralize team members because they will see you as overbearing, you know, they will see you as micromanaging them, and, you know, some good hands may just decide to leave your team because they see you as too authoritarian, too overbearing. Remember, the cohesive style is do as I say, and you should know when to press, you know, the brake pedal on the cohesive leadership style, the command leadership style. This is very, very important. The second leadership style we are looking at this month is authoritative leadership style. Authoritative is not authoritarian. Authoritative leadership style is the leadership style that gives vision and direction to team members. When there is confusion, when people don't know what to do, you come up with vision, you come up with what why goals, you come up with direction for the team members, and then you give the team members the opportunity to contribute their insight, you know, their creativity to the achievement of that goal and that vision. This is very, very important. Now, this is very helpful when you already have motivated team members and you have highly competent team members. It is very helpful in that regard. But the drawback of it is that when team members feel and know that you know less than them as a leader, it is very difficult to lead them. It is very difficult to lead people that feel you know less than them. It is very difficult to lead people that have the impression that you don't have enough knowledge. So the authoritative leadership style, not authoritarian, authoritative. It gives vision, it gives goals. Imagine a situation of a microfinance bank that is having issue with getting patronage from customers, and you as a branch manager of that particular microfinance bank decide to create a vision, a goal in another 6 months to improve customer service, attitude and excellence towards the customers in order to be able to see that these customers are retained. This is authoritative. This is being able to give direction, set vision, set goals, and then you allow team members to make contribution to that vision and that goals that you have set for them. It is extremely helpful, but also know the time to also transit when situation changes. This is very, very important. Then we have the affiliative leadership style. The affiliative leadership style is a people come first leadership style. It focuses on being able to ensure there is harmony. It focuses on being able to ensure there is unity. It focuses on being able to ensure that trust is built amongst team members. This is very, very important. It's very helpful when resolving crisis. When there is a conflict situation, it's very helpful when you want to build a bond in the team. You want the team to be better bonded. Now, the drawback of the affiliative leadership style that is so people focused, that is ensuring that there is harmony, there is trust, there is unity, is that if it is overused, mediocrity can be tolerated. Low performance can be tolerated. The affiliative leadership style just focus on making sure that everybody, in terms of emotion, everyone is experiencing positive emotion. You don't want people to be offended. Just want to keep everywhere cool. And at the end of the day, when that is overflowed, you see a situation whereby, because you don't want to offend people, there's always poor result, mediocre result, below expectation result. And you should also be smart as a leader to know when to transit from that and then go into another leadership approach that will help. We have the democratic leadership style. This one is a type of leadership style that includes participation. It carries everybody along. It gives everybody to make contribution. Gives everybody opportunity, to make bring creative and innovative ideas on board. It is very helpful when you really want to come up with solid, decisions. You want to come up with solid ideas because everyone is contributing. You are able to refine the contributions, and you have something amazing to just hang on to at the end of the day. But it also has its own drawback if it is overused. The drawback is that the democratic style, when overused, can lead to time wasting as a result of over deliberation. People just keep deliberating, people keep discussing, we are trying to iron out issues, and when there are need to make a decision under emergency situation, time can be wasted, and that is a drawback. And it is very also important that as a leader that, okay, it's good to carry people along, it's good to be all-inclusive, but you should also know that this is a time to, transit from this, our situation is changing, and be able to take things to the next level. Then we have the pace-setting leadership style. The pace-setting leader is the type of leader that sets standards and then exemplify the standard. Pace setting. He sets the pace and he also exemplify it. And this is very helpful, in situations whereby you want to promote excellence. And, the good thing about it is that you, as the leader, you are setting the example, and then people are able to mirror what you have modeled before them. It also have its own drawback. The drawback is that people can feel overwhelmed, people can feel overburdened, and then we move into the next leadership style, which is the one that we conclude with this morning, the coaching leadership style. The coaching leadership style is you developing people for the future. It's all about developing people for the future. And the drawback of the coaching leadership style that has to do with building capacity and meanwhile, developing people, building capacity is one of your responsibility as a leader. But the drawback is this: people who are not willing to learn are very difficult to coach. They are very difficult to develop. They are very difficult, it's very difficult to build their expertise. So it works very well in situations whereby people already know that they have lapses, they have weaknesses, and they are very willing to be open to learning. And so the coaching leadership style, is very helpful in that regard. Now, the essence of this series we are beginning today is that you should understand that it is not one leadership style that you need to be using in all situations. Be able to transit, know when to transit. That's what is important. Know when to transit from a particular leadership style to another leadership style. As a way of summary, the leadership style we have looked at today, which we call different leadership styles and their impact on workplace dynamics, is the cohesive leadership style, the authoritative leadership style. Remember, authoritative is not authoritarian. Then the affiliative leadership style that focuses on people first, the democratic leadership style that is all inclusive, carry people along, the pace-setting leadership style that has to do with setting standard and then you exemplify it, and the coaching leadership style, which has to do with developing people for the future. I believe that profound value have been added to you today. I know you want to connect with me. Send your questions and inquiries across as you have been doing, and my email is inuaghata@gmail.com, INUAGHATA @gmail.com. That's the email right there on the screen, inuaghata@gmail.com. Send your questions, send your inquiries, and then we'll be able to take things to the next level. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. And when I return, I will remain the amiable Inuaghata No Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
right, so let's get to see the papers for today, the 3rd day of June 2026. First port of call is the First Daily, and we'll have Obi raises alarm over escalating killings, abductions nationwide. That's the first story that we have on First Daily this morning. Then beneath that, we have Sowore joins Oyo abduction protest, threatens march on Asu Rock. That's also coming. Then Chinda dumps PDP for APC, steps down as minority leader. All on the front page of the First Daily this morning. Cholera death toll hits 39 in Borno as cases surge past 4,200. Big headline there on the First Daily this morning. Then away from that, now we have federal government tightens borders, rolls out extra screening against Ebola threats. Then CAN declares June 14th Black Sunday to honor terror victims. Then NIMSI warns Nigerians against a fake NIN correction portal. Amnesty condemns a killing of 17 in Sokoto bandit attack. I thought the federal government was tightening borders against kidnapping.
Well, it's safe to say that whilst we're also battling with insecurity in the country, the Ebola virus, we also should be prepared and, be proactive with our measures.
Yeah, but I think the insecurity is more important now than. I'm not saying Ebola is not, is also not, bad, but let's keep Nigerians secured first.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes eventually. We'll move now, turn our attention over to the New Telegraph newspaper, and it's laden with the security situation. As it says, CAN demand state of emergency on security. On the New Telegraph newspaper, I talked about this earlier on the show, declares Black Sunday over killings on page 2, 6, and 7 of the newspaper. Warns escalating killings, kidnapping, terrorist attacks, now national crisis. NUT holds nationwide protest. Parents withdraw children from Osun schools. Makinde, this is time of national distress, not politics. Asks Nigerians to pray for Ofayese. Well, reacting to what Ayo Ofayese said in a sister station where he blamed the Oyo State government for being behind what is going on in Oyo State. Akpabio, rather, to senators. Nation in captivity until when? That's the question. Representatives seek immediate rescue of abducted pupils, teachers. Wabara laments rising insecurity, hunger, poverty at 78th birthday. I feel like an average Nigerian is going through a lot. Like whilst we're battling with insecurity, there's also hunger and poverty, which is truly alarming. Away from that, 2027 presidency, APC jittery over Jonathan's candidacy. Who is speaking? The PDP. As Baba Cheyawal questions Atiku's political records, blames Tinubu for Nigeria's poor welfare on page 27. Senatorial primaries, APC in fresh crisis as governors defy Tinubu's return agenda. Subwriter says chairman cut between two powerful biokes. According to a source, Green Chamber Chinda resigns as minority leader. Letter silent on his defection to APC as 13 reps move to different parties. That's on page 4 of the New Telegraph newspaper. Adeboye to service chiefs, end terrorism, kill sponsors in 90 days or resign. Most terrorist attacks on, okay, well, I kind of like missed that, but I think that's all we have on the New Telegraph newspaper moving forward. But I'll also love us to rub minds as regards Nigerians calling out on religious leaders and chiefs to speak on the insecurity situation, especially Pastor Enoch Adeboye. We saw what he did during the Goodluck Jonathan. A lot of Nigerians saying, why are you silent now? Is it a case of tribalism or what?
No, well, they were supposed to go out there on the protest. Was it not 2 or 3 days ago? But it was
we didn't see him.
Yeah, we didn't see him. It was shelved, and people reacted negatively to that particular, incident. Well, they now said 90 days or else we'll go out there to massively protest. Take a look at the papers. One thing is common in the headlines. Insecurity. Right. Insecurity, and that is what Nigeria seems to be suffering from. Well, with North, South, East, and getting so much, and it's so annoying. Anyway, it's all about the papers. Let's say, plus, we're going straight down to.
I thought you were going to ask my opinion on the issue. You know, the religious leaders, you know, I think they are trying to be very careful at this time because, you know, politics is almost getting into everything. Now, you talked about Adeboye. Adeboye, if he speaks against this insecurity in the country now, it's possible that some certain persons may begin to see that, hey, you are going against the government of the day. Now, let us not forget about...
we are talking about security of Nigerians
that's the way you put it. But I'm just telling you the way some Nigerians will see it. I mean, we have evidence, you know, of some persons that are talking against, you know, how the government is going against, you know, insecurity in the country. Then, of course, some persons in the government, they begin to see that, hey, you are trying to, you know, come against us. So that's just the way it is. So I think that some of the religious leaders now, they are being careful. That's just the way it is. I mean, for Enoch Adeboye that I know, I mean, you know, some persons are even expecting him to prophesy who will win the next election, but the man has kept his cool, you know, so that's just wisdom. So that's the way it is.
So you know what, nobody is like, you know, slighting this man of God's name, but it was the inaction that came after so much promise, you know. Everyone, like, you know, hyped, let's go out there, let's protest, peaceful protest about what is happening in the country. You don't just raise the hope of Nigerians, your church members, Christendom, all of a sudden, are the dying men who said no to it. Look, this doesn't concern politics. It's not about lives here. You want to play politics, fine, but Nigerians are tired.
Well, listen, you may talk like that, but yeah, Nigerians, I am tired too. Everybody's tired. But the point is that some of our politicians, they don't see that way. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know?
Anyway, let's take a look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper, we have these headlines. All your protests go nationwide. Last move to state police. We have the riders here. Teachers, resident protest in Kano, Port Harcourt, FCT, Edo, Cross River, Benme, Taraba. Woman orders. Still on the rider. NLC, NUG, NANS rally at Governor Markinde's office. Senate observe 1 minute silence for slim teachers. Always a 1 minute silence. Let's move on. Reps. The police bill as anger spreads over abduction security failures. Okay, now let's go to other headlines. Disco earned 600 billion naira in 3 months despite blackout. Ebola rout. FG tightens airport border screening. Private sector votes 100,000 naira minimum wage proposal. Moving on to other headlines. Northwest IDPs near 800,000 amid killing, says report. So, suffer officers in police night over Oguman's today to be able to address National Assembly. June. As it stands, no matter what we are doing in this country, that's why Nigerians are just can't sleep without 2 eyes closed. It's the security of lives and properties. I mean, I don't really fancy what is happening right now. I don't fancy what is going on. Something just needs to be done about this. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Something really needs to be done. A lot of Nigerians are looking forward to the Democracy Day speech, which would be, you know, the president will be giving out to the National Assembly and also to all Nigerians. I'm sure the intent of that message would be insecurity, food insecurity, the economy, and every other, you know, nook and cranny of Nigeria, the state of Nigeria, and we're looking forward to it. And I would say that at this point, the president would really need to be careful with the speech, because any slight attempt could just spark that outrage with all of Nigerians, because at this moment it's really a delicate moment, especially as the president just marked his, you know, 3rd year in office. So we're looking forward to the message come June 12th.
Anyway, we're from that next protocol will be the Daily Trust newspaper, and on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning we have 13 rep members switch parties. Then of course we have many killed at Sokoto records another attack in 48 hours. Then also still on the front page of the Daily Trust this morning, TGI Group and WIMA International form a strategic joint venture to strengthen food security and drive agricultural growth in West Africa. You can find that on page 8 of the Daily Trust of this morning. And still on the Daily Trust, we have teachers protest a wave of school abductions. Then the rider to that is CAN calls for state of emergency on insecurity. CAN has given an ultimatum that June 14th is going to be a black Sunday. That's the way to put it now. So let's wait and see. So the rider to that is CAN calls for state of emergency on insecurity. And still on the Daily Trust of this morning, of course, talking about the protest of the NUT yesterday in some states, you can see some of the pictures there if you zoom in. Now, particular one is the face of the lady that is agog on the social media. I mean, that lady that came out to make a passionate plea to the government. I mean, I don't know. You could see the gun on her face. I mean, it's you know, you understand. So very touching, very touching. You could see the frustration on the face of that lady. So I don't know. I keep on thanking NUT the way they were able to cap all this so that it will really make sense to the government. You could see pictures of protest, you know, in parts of the country yesterday. All this, yeah.
I don't think we should even thank NUT because
I was coming to that.
Why are we thanking NUT? It took them over 14 days before they even spoke out and staged protests in different parts of the country, and that says a lot. 14 days after, little children, your colleagues are actually in the den of, you know, the kidnappers, and then you're coming out. I don't think we need to thank them. Yes, it shouldn't have even been, and not to even talk of the federal government who had to wait for over 14 days before they sent a delegation, and we didn't even see the president there. Ideally, one would have expected that either the president or the vice president would, you know, chair the delegation, but we didn't see it. The last time we had a big bulk of insecurity conversation online, the president actually went to the airport and he didn't even spend up there, you know, before exiting the airport. So anyway, this is Nigeria, as they would say. We'll turn our attention now to the Nation newspaper. And on the newspaper, let's start off with politics. As it says on page 25, that ADC presidential primary shameful, Baba Chair insists. Away from that, Tinubu's reforms okay for economic recovery, says MAN. Ambassador Jimo Ibrahim elected. UN budget, admin chairman on page 3. Federal government tightens border control to prevent Ebola. We've actually highlighted that. But finally, on the front page of the Nation newspaper, Senate House protesters, let's get kidnapped victims out. Protest spread to Lagos, FCT, Kwara, play 2 others. Don't politicize insecurity, says Akpabio and Wike. And also, ADC asks judge to quit case on page 25. DSS joins probe of INEC portal breach on page 30. Well, that's all the Nation newspaper have for us this morning.
Okay. Well, quickly, it's time permits us now. Let's quickly take the Guardian newspaper, and that's our next port of call. And top headline on the Guardian newspaper this morning: Supreme Court vacates appellate court's order against Nestor and Nakonde. That's the big headline there on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Then also too, we have party primaries. On party primaries, a divided opposition rejigs 2027 polls, line up 11 presidential candidates. Now we have this various presidential candidates across the various political parties: Atiku, Obi, and of course President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Then APC ticket, Tinubu governors fight for control of 2027 National Assembly list. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Then quickly, we have gun men kill 8 in Plateau. Kogi bans festival after deadly violence. Also, you can read that on page 30 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Lagos State government laments surge in domestic violence and records 6,753 cases in 2025. Then NAD threatens, that's the National Association of Resident Doctors, threatens a nationwide strike over assault on doctors. You can actually find that on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. I think that's all time we permit us to take now, so that the discussion segment can start coming in.
So we'll just take a break right now.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking that's about what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
TV, certainly the best.
The land of Owa is inhabited by the people with common ancestry, language, religion, economic.
All right, thank you one more time. The program is still on ITV. Yeah, when we talk about kidnapping, of course, it's somehow not too new to most people in Nigeria. But there seems to be a new development to that now. About children, that seems to be a new challenge. And we can still recall what happened a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago now, in Oyo State, whereby school children, innocent children, were kidnapped as they went to school. Well, this morning, we're going to be looking at the Oyo school incident, the abduction, and of course, the NUT strike protests, and look at the issue of Nigeria debacles. So first and foremost, we're going to be having two sets of that discussion this morning. So first and foremost, we'll take the chairman of NUT, Lucky Aruariero. So you're welcome to. Okay, and also Wilson Marshall is my co-anchor. Wilson, you're welcome one more time.
Yeah, pleasure being here to interview this great man of Franklin of teaching.
All right, so Mr. Lucky, I don't know, can you help us make sense of how exactly you think we got here? I mean, before this time, it used to be kidnapping of very influential, people in the society, politicians, businessmen, and all that. But here we are today. The nation is talking about kidnapping of school children that probably don't even have a dime to pay as a ransom. So how do you think we got here as a nation?
Yeah, good morning, my brother. We, from our own angle, is a very pathetic situation. And from religion, we understand it's like the bandit, they're against the Western education. They want to ensure that Western education no longer takes place in Nigeria. We are seeing a new development. Like you said, what we used to hear those days, kidnapping of politicians, highly influenced persons in society. But today, the school is not a major focus. Our schools across the country is not a major focus. We are unleash their attacks on our teachers and our learners, our future leaders. And so we don't know what have really led to this. But from our little understanding, what we have learned, information that these bandits, they are against the Western education in Nigeria. And I want to think that's what has brought us to this level where we find ourselves today in the country. Thank you so much.
Now, this incident took place over 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Now, how come it took NUT more than 14 days to go on a protest?
Yeah, God bless you. On our own, we're doing all our effort to ensure that government really swing into action, and government was assuring us that we will do everything possible to ensure they release these teachers and our children unhurt. And we expect the government to do them, they needful. But it was like the government was not forthcoming. They were becoming relaxed and selling to the system, and we were not okay, no, there must be need for us to come out. And that was where the national leadership of our union directed that there should be a nationwide protest that took place yesterday.
Okay, now your protest in Benin City, we saw the video footage on our news, and of course it's all agog on the social media, leading members of your union to protest. Now, we understand that 1 or 2 states may also shut down, go on strike the way Oyo State has done. Now, let's come to Edo State now. Now, this protest you had yesterday, what happens after this protest now?
Yes. As a state wing chairman, we are waiting directive from the national leadership. We have done as it was a directive from the national leadership. And one of which, the next action that will follows. And that directive must come from the national leadership. I don't have any power of my own as a state wing chairman to maybe go for strike or call for strike. So when the national leadership directs that we must shut down all schools, if the needful is not done, that's by way of releasing these children, we may not have no option. So whatever the directive from the national leadership, we will oblige.
Was it the national directive that asked Oyo NUT to shut down?
Yes, because that was the video.
Local to localize it.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a directive for national leadership that all yours should shut down all services.
Okay. Now. All right. Now, you talked about shutting down of education, shutting down of schools because of security situation. I don't think that anything is playing to the hands of the bandits, not to the hands of the terrorists after they're saying no to Western education.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
No, not really. Not really.
Because schools already in your state been shut down.
Yeah.
And they're saying no to Western education. Do you think that is the right move?
Sir, let's put it this way. These are children, teachers, for the past 3 weeks or close to 3 weeks, this exercise happened May 15th. And as we speak, these guys are passing through trauma, passing through pains, agony right there in the forest. And let's put ourselves in their shoes. And if government is willing to come up now and do the different, because these guys are saying, let's go on negotiation. The government should be able to negotiate with these places, and so that our people can be released on hot. And so the government is not going to go into negotiation. Because we don't know the devices or whatever plans the government had. But the more you allow those children to be in the forest, nobody can really ascertain what has happened to those standard children and those 1, 2 years, 3 years below. Whether those children are still alive, nobody can attest to that. And so if the government is not willing, let them be shut down services. We are already aware that this is their plan, but let them shut down services right there in the room. So our government can swing into action, do the negotiation, let's release our teachers and our learners from these bandits.
When you talk about the negotiation, does it mean paying of ransom? Is that what you're saying right now?
Let them go into negotiation with these bandits.
Now, Mr. Loki, when you say, I don't know, I'm kind of, finding it difficult to understand. When you say let the government go into negotiation, are you trying to imply that the government probably knows these people? I mean, you are asking the government to negotiate with faces that are not known. Well, we understand that some persons have said that the kidnappers have demanded for 5 billion naira. So is it that the government, do you think the government knows them? They know who they are, they know how to get to them. In the first place, if the government can negotiate, I mean, that's a new way of getting them. Because we kind of find it difficult to understand when you say government should negotiate. Negotiate with who?
Very clear, sir. The principal to that school, the husband happens to be a professor.
The principal of where?
Of this same school.
Of one of the schools.
No, the schools where this thing happened.
Okay.
The husband used to be he's a professor anyway. And so one of the media houses went to see the man. And the man told those media house that these same parties are already saying that they don't want to negotiate with the families involved. If you are aware, do not find this. And they don't want to negotiate with the families involved. That government was coming. That government not coming.
So what
government, they don't want to negotiate with any.
So saying it's all about negotiation, all about the money.
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Yeah. You're not sure, you're sure. Which is it?
Negotiation decides.
No, that's negotiation.
But we have different ways. It can be money. It can be maybe how do we come? How do we put an end to it? So we cannot test that.
Well, for the fact that they have allegedly demanded for 5 billion naira, so it goes to show that they are not negotiating for anything less than money. That's just the way it is. But quickly, let me also begin to bring you into the implication of all this. When a while ago I was thanking the NUT Edo State, my colleagues right here, they said I should stop. NUT Edo State is not on strike. You only protested yesterday. Children are still going to school. The public primary school and secondary schools are in school. But there are major examinations that are going on right now. The West African Examination Council is going on. And of course, the junior school, the BEC, BET is also going on. Now, these are major examinations that are not localized. They are not only done in Edo State or in Oyo State only. The West African Examination cuts across countries in West Africa. Now, is NUT concerned about this? If you are concerned, how do we begin to make some concession for all that?
It will not affect this examination going on. Examination is still going on. Right there, the exams is still going on.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Even the shutting down of the schools?
Yeah, the examination is going on. The examination is not going. It's not affecting this Western, what's called the
WAEC
exam, it's not even affecting the junior secondary exam. No, the exam is going on simultaneously. So it's not affecting the exam.
All right, now, can one deduce that the government of the day has failed the NUT, knowing fully well that is now going to 19 or 20 days there when we talk about protection of students and pupils, when we talk about our education in general? Speaking as a chairman of NUT, Edo State Wing.
I think the government ordinarily happen to have a meeting with My Excellency, who said yes, on his own, he's doing his best to ensure the security of lives and properties as far as Edo State is concerned. To us, I think the government, they're doing their best. They're doing the best, but they need to do
more.
So say they've not failed it anyway.
That's right.
Okay.
They need to do more.
Okay.
Ensure that lives and properties are secured, most especially our learning environment. We had a meeting with His Excellency and told him, sir, see, our teachers are already undergoing trauma, psychological and emotional trauma, and nobody goes to work with such fear and be productive in terms of service delivery. And so the His Excellency have told us that he's doing everything very possible in terms of security to ensure lives and properties are secure. I appeal to him, please, sir, we need more of this to ensure our lives are secure, most especially the learning environment and the learners, and we, the teachers.
Okay. Anyway, we are going to be speaking with the Honorable Commissioner for Public Safety in Edo State, Festus Ebia. So we're going to be eliciting, reactions from him in that direction. What the government is planning to do to keep our schools safe, after this discussion. Now, the protest yesterday, you go through the dailies, you see, different placards, and all that. Now, kidnapping has no place in education. That's one. And of course, silence, guns, let learning continue. Yes. Then kidnapping has no place in education and all that. Now, a while ago, we're trying to say that the kidnapper seems to be against the Western education. Now, I remember when Boko Haram as a phenomenon, so to say, started. As a matter of fact, some person said that the meaning of Boko Haram is no to Western socialization and Western civilization, of course, of which we get through education. Now, what do you think the government should be thinking now? Because, we having a situation that has lasted for more than a decade, as far as I can remember. This whole insurgency, terrorism and all that is more than 10 years in Nigeria today. So what do you think the government of Nigeria should be thinking now in arresting the situation?
Thank you so much. I think that's why we, those placards yesterday, that the government really need to wake up to their responsibility. They should be able to put an end to this insurgency. And they have all that it takes to put an end to this insurgency, to put an end to all these unnecessary kidnapping going on across the country. So the onus lies on them. The government knows how to do it. And so that's our plea, that they should do everything very possible. These persons, they are not spirit, they are humans like us. And we want to put an end to it. We are not thinking it will take them much to do it. Because I'm in the media house. I wouldn't want to go extra. But the government knows how to do it.
How do you mean?
You should be able to beef for the security. You should be able to beef up the security in the country. And let the security men really do the needful.
Hold on, comrade. On one hand, you said the government disappointed you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you said they know how to do it. So where do you really stand?
Okay, listen, let me tell you something. As a civilian, or as a civil servant, do I have what it takes to fight the bandits? It's the government that have it. That's why we are saying they are failing in their responsibility. Let them wake up. Let the government wake up. And that's the truth about that.
Anyway, keeping Nigeria secure, happens to be the way it is now. It is an issue with all Nigerians. We've had a government in this country that launched the Say Something campaign. Away from that now, let us look at ways that your organization, the NUT, probably other organizations in the country can begin to assist the government in keeping Nigeria safe. Because it appears that this whole thing seems to be too big now, you know, at the risk of not trying to maybe talk down on government. But it appears, you know, government seems to be overwhelmed with what is going on in the country. So how do you think that NUT and maybe other organizations can assist the government in keeping our lives and properties secured?
To me, as a body, as a hero, we in the teaching field, the only thing we can do, like you just said, there are things we know we can do by way of information. We'll give to government. That's the only thing we can do as a body or as a hero. Like we told our Excellency that police are the best way to also secure lives and properties, lives of these learners, and we the teachers in the school. It will help us with the perimeter fence.
Okay, that's the governor of Edo State.
Yes, the governor of Edo
And
State.
what was his response?
He said yes, that he will do his best to see how he can work with that, to ensure most of the schools within the rural areas, they are giving perimeter fence, and also bring in more security, like the vigilantes, the police, to secure our brother schools, our learning environment. That is the only way we can also put an end to these unnecessary attack on schools.
So you say you'll be more comfortable if security personnel are present in each school. So they're going to teach very knowingly they are secured.
Yes.
If these guys are, maybe just an armored tank personnel in each school would be okay, right? All right, I think we should invite the commissioner.
Yeah, let's just before we go quickly now. Your message, we wanted to have a message to the Edo State government today because it has not happened in Edo State, and we pray it doesn't happen. But we understand that the government is now resting. As a matter of fact, while I called you yesterday, you told me you were with the governor of Edo State discussing on how to keep schools secured. Now, what is your message to government this morning? Because NUT ordinarily, they are not supposed to be dragged into insecurity issues in the country, but here we are today. So what is your message to the government of the day?
Yes, my message, I will keep maintaining that the government should help us provide this same perimeter fence to all schools across the state, and also help us with security personnel, so that teachers can go to school with that comfort. They can go to school assured that they are safe. Thank you so much.
Okay, so your protest was just only yesterday, and it's one day protest.
Yes,
so pending, you are waiting for the national body to maybe to, I hope you are going to go on strike.
We may not. We just pray that within the shortest possible time, those children are
will be resolved. All right. All right. So I want to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Loki Emararo, you know, the state chairman of the National Union of Teachers, Edo State, for joining us on our program this morning. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so we'll take a short pause now so that we'll bring the Honorable Commissioner for Public Safety, Mr. Festus Abia, into the show so that he tells us what the state government is doing. Please take a short pause. We'll be right back.
ITV, certainly the best.
All right, thank you one more time. Still on the program this morning on ITV. Joining us this morning is the Honorable Commissioner for Public Safety, Edo State, Festus Abia. Sir, you're welcome to, you're welcome. Public Security in Edo State. You're welcome to the program this morning on ITV.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the issue of public safety in Edo State, has, also assumed some kind of worrisome dimension in the sense that recently we've seen how people are being kidnapped, particularly in some certain communities. I mean, like a community next to us here, Iyowa, almost, there was a time that almost every day it was a reoccurrence that we heard every time how persons returning from their place of work as about entering the house, they are kidnapped and all that. Now, before we talk about what is going on in the country now, talking about the abduction of the school children. Now, you tell us what is going on in Edo State. Is it a case of Edo State's government's inability to probably keep life properties secured, or the fact that is a spread of what is happening on the national scene?
Well, let me take you from that background that it is a spread from what is happening in the national scene.
Okay.
You know, the banditry in the country, Edo State became a soft target in the sense that coming from the northeast or north central, you are going to be having very tumultuous region of Kogi and Kwara, whereby the spillover of the drive of the security men on these bandits will make them to relocate to Edo. The same way with Ondo, which is a neighboring community. But in all of this, Edo State is not resting on its oars. The governor has made it grossly impossible for every member within the security architecture to sleep in Edo State. Whether it's the police, whether it's the army, whether it's the civil defense, and even my own ministry, especially the Edo Security Corps. Nobody is sleeping. Like you rightly mentioned, we have been trying to make sure that before the adoption of the school children in Oyo State, our governor, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, has made it a point of duty to ensure that all the schools have their perimeter fence put in place. And jobs are still going on in the ones that have not been captured. If I take a count, I can tell you substantially, since the last 1.5 years his throne had been on, most schools in Edo State are now being fenced. And before coming here just now, the Deputy Commander of the Edo State Security Corps, the retired CSP of police, is going down towards Edo Central and Edo North because of the Safe School Initiative to ensure, because the governor has given a marching order to all that every school now, apart from the fence, must be stationed with security men.
Okay.
Who will be seen in uniform.
Every school.
Every school.
In Edo State.
In Edo State.
In the 18 local government.
Yes.
All
So
right.
that one is on. The men are already out to map out and equally discuss with the men that will be stationed. The policemen are involved. But the general trend of this kidnapping, you find out that there are now more in the soft targets within the outer space of every community in Nigeria, not just in Edo State. When you mention Iyowa, people will try to be asking now, where is Iyowa? Because as far as the parent living in Edo State is concerned, or you talk about Edo State to members of people, members who are outside Edo State, you want to hear New Benin, GRA, when they hear Iyowa, people in Edo State don't even know where Yowa is, you find that these are hinterlands where the could just take and go. Now the children we had in Chibok, they are soft targets. Like you said, the philosophy behind Boko Haram is Western education is
bad.
When they take these children, two things. Aspect, which is purely commercial. They want to make money. They are equally saying their own children are not in the school. They are not telling their children. They have most of these kidnappers. They have children. They are not in school because they don't believe in education. They don't believe in Western education. They equally don't believe in religion. Whether it is Islamic, whether it is Christianity, whether it is Orthodox, whether it is ATR. If they believe there's no religion, even African traditional religion, that will allow you to go and be kidnapping helpless children and teachers. What did they do to you? You understand? They'll make money and don't go to school. So when I hear the protests of yesterday, oh, we're down tools, of course, they have scored a point. Kidnappers have scored a point because they don't want us to go to school. So you have now quietly accepted what they are looking for, where the Boko Haram history started from. Western education is bad. So stay away from school. That's what NUT is preaching. But my call to them is to please tarry a while. Tarry a while. Don't give sale.
But the NUT, what the NUT seems to be saying is that the seemingly nonchalant disposition of government towards this whole situation. I mean, imagine a situation, an event happened on a certain date. It took the governments of even the Oyo State governments, the governor Seyi Makinde, it took him almost 2 weeks before he could leave from Ibadan to Ogbomoso. So I mean, let alone the federal government. So that is what NUT seems to be talking about. That was what necessitated the protest, not because they really want to play into the hands of the Boko Haram philosophy.
My dear friend, I would like to limit my comment on Edo State.
Okay.
If I talk about Makinde, they will say, remember, they are not in the same place. I don't know.
No, it's been the record that there are immigrants entering Edo State, especially from the north. Some are saying they are from the northern extract, Hausa, Fulani, coming in drones. Now, what has the government of the day done to really take note and have a database for these foreigners entering Edo State that may pose danger? Remember the report of yesterday? The guy said that it's Fulani. He said it on air. So what have the government done or put in place to really take stock of all these immigrants entering Edo State vis-a-vis Benin City?
Yes. In fairness to our governor, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, he was trying to dispute profiling, believing that the Constitution allows for free movement within the country. So it's actually profiling. But with events now emerging, I begin to go towards this postulation, so that we begin to see, not necessarily the Hausa Fulani people, whoever is coming in from the entry point, let us know. We encourage every other state to do that. So it's something that we are working out to see how we can begin to know those who are coming in and going out.
And how long will this take?
I cannot give a time frame because it must be technologically backed. You understand? It's not just enough for you to enter and begin to take stock. You understand? In our heads, in our plans, we are looking at putting a gauge to technologically see the vehicle that is coming in, especially the trailers that are carrying people into the country.
Into the states.
Into the states, right?
Yes, yeah.
See what they are carrying in their belly, whether underneath, whether inside the vehicles. And you can see even the security across Okpila, especially that Okpila end. They have been able to stop people. They have reversed them. Even in my own community in Ubiaja, there are some people who were able to drive as much as that to that place. And the DPO there said, no, While checking in, they found that they were carrying guns. Where are you going to? They said they are hunters. Are there no bushes?
Bushes in the north?
In the north, you have more land space.
More land space.
How come it's
special interest.
The small space we have in southern Nigeria,
yes.
you come and hunt.
Yes.
Just go back. He escorted them to the next point. From Agbede, they took them over, and that's how they escorted them. They didn't harm any of them. You understand? So that the Uromi episode does not come to play again.
Now, Honorable Commissioner, I'm going to bring you back to what, let me take you back to what you said, that most times this kidnapping, happens in soft spots. You made mention of Iyowa, but I don't know what you have to say about, there is a military formation in Ovia Northeast here. We're talking about the S&T barracks. From S&T barracks to Iyowa is probably not up to 3 miles. It's still within the same space. Now let's move attention to Edo North. That's where I'm from. There is a military formation around Auchi area, towards through Igbe Road, towards Akoko Edo and all that. There's a military formation there. Now, ordinarily, one would have thought that with the presence of some of these military formations in these areas, that would probably scare, any prospective kidnapping attempt. But what we have is the opposite. That is why somehow it's difficult for people to understand what is really going on.
I will not make excuse for the conventional forces, whether military or police. I will not make excuses for them. But what I can tell you, they are equally working. But what you must know, our people are involved. They make the thing look as if there's nothing happening. The military, they are not spirit. They work on information. That very momentary loss of concentration. We are playing football. They score against you through a momentary loss of concentration that will be counted in less than seconds if there's anything.
Is there the possibility of maybe somehow some of the military men are involved? I will give it to
no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Like I said, I'm not going to shift blame. You understand? In every system, you have bad eggs. In every system, you have bad eggs. You understand? I remember the former president saying that there are Boko Haram sympathizers in my government. You understand? We've heard that in this country. It has not changed. It has not changed. I don't really want to look towards the political angle of this insecurity.
All right, now let's take a look at your own people, the vigilantes. You've trained them. You took them to Ogida Barrack. They were trained, right? Let's take a look at the redeployment to various local...
The 14th of October, 2025, I met with the governor of Edo State. And the directive he gave was to the effect that every local government should have 300 personnel in their payroll. They become mandatory staff. So when you do 300 times 18, you have 5,400.
Yes.
They are working.
On government's payroll.
Very local
government's payroll.
But at the state, he helps in terms of logistic support.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even as we speak now, the governor has given directive, starting from each senatorial zone, to make sure that they are well kitted in terms of boots, in terms of raincoats, so that during the rainy season, especially in the rainy season, nobody will say we didn't hear because it was raining. We couldn't go and go, it was raining. The government is doing that. He has given vet to all these things. They are going on. We are going to see them manifest. Even this morning, I got a call from the DPO in Ubiaja about last week exactly. The chairman of Ward 8, he said hinterland is one of the deepest areas of Eastern Southeast. They call it Oloshi. Oloshi, not even Ilushi.
Okay.
Oloshi. No vehicle can go there.
Go there, yeah.
The Fulani people who have been living with them, they do business together, they are majority farmers. The man was hard there in the farm. And I called the DPO. I said, I don't want to hear excuses. I said, the suspects that flee, you will catch them, they will not go far. This morning, they were arrested in Auchi. Through the combined effort of Edo Security Corps in Eastern Southeast, the police, and the army.
All right, now let me bring, let's quickly just shift away from kidnapping now, because this also falls under your purview, because we're talking about public security, public safety and all that. Now, sometime last year, we had, there was a big tree. It may sound funny, but it's part of public safety now. Somewhere around J2 Junction, somewhere along J2 Road in Etako West, in Uzaire. Now, that tree has been there for years. I'm bringing this down because we have so many of them, everywhere in Benin City here around Adisogbe Road Junction. We have the Olokoizomo there. Popular Olokoizomo is there. It's a very mighty tree. Now, what is this government doing? Because what happened in Auchi last year was that this tree became too big. Then a heavy rain fell on a certain day with a heavy storm. It brought down the tree, and the tree destroyed lives, houses, and all that. So, is your ministry aware of this? That there are I don't know what are structures now, but there are natural maybe plants or things that pose threats to people in the states. What is your ministry doing about that?
I won't lie to you, I'm just hearing this. However, security is not just a government business. People like you heard that, you can call on me, you can call on the police, you can call on the sector commander in that area, in J2. You can call on the local government chairman. We are working in collaboration. But if we don't know, we can't do anything.
That this thing poses threats.
Yeah, there's no way we look away for such things, because the issue of safety is for everybody.
All right, Commissioner. Let's go back again to the security situation. Now, you have all these formations in place, but we still have reports of people being kidnapped and people are still scared. What are you going to do about this? Knowing fully well that you say 300 personnel outside the police, outside the soldiers and the rest of them. Yes, because yesterday or 3 days ago, there was an incident of kidnapping along Agbo Benin Road. We still had some also in Asaland, even in Edo North. So what are you willing now to do to nip this in the bud, at least for those citizens to have faith in the government of the day?
I have told you, no excuses.
All right.
This week, on Friday, by Friday,
yes,
on the 5th, the governor has been able to secure the recruitment of 500 Edo youths into the forest guard that is being marshaled by the National Security Advisors Office in Abuja. So the training is going to commence. And the whole essence is to distribute these people in various bushes within the locality they were picked from. So you're going to have different sectors across like that where they are going to stay. And everything about their training is going to be taken care of by the state government.
Okay.
When I leave here now, I'm having a meeting with the governor. I left the governor last night. I'm going back there this morning. Just like it's not aware I'll be coming here because I had already left him when I got a call.
Yeah, from me. Yeah.
But what we must know, I want to call on Edo people. We work on information. You understand?
Yes.
I cannot come here and be telling you we did this, we did this. A lot of them are being neutralized through exchange of gunfires and all that. This cell awaiting trial, they are feed up of these same people. They are feed up. But when you get report of somebody at the kidnap, you think we are not doing enough. When I went to a meeting in Abuja at the NSA's office, Edo State, very funny, Edo State ranked the most peaceful of all the states in the Federation. You won't believe it.
No, with all the stories
I'm telling you, so that tells you the person when you sleep inside house, stays here with you. That's when you sleep
outside.
So we are doing our best, but I can still tell you that we have a lot to do.
All right, so Commissioner, we know you would have loved to speak more, but we are getting signals now from Abuja studio that they are ready with their topic, and they're also going to be talking about the issues of insecurity in the country. Honorable Commissioner Festus Ibe, I want to say thank you so much. Despite a very tight schedule, you found time to come. I mean, I called you only last night, and you responded. Thank you. It goes to show who you are and your office too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll take a short pause now to join Tolokpe in Abuja. Please stay.
Welcome to the Abuja Network Studio right there. In the form of the Abuja Network Studio, just like we mentioned earlier on in the course of this program, we'll be taking a look at the fallout of the kidnapping experience in Oyo State, and also influence on education and also other parts of Nigeria. And joining me this morning to take a look at that is not that person than Brigadier General Aro Peter, who is retired right there. It's a pleasure to have you this morning.
Thank you very much.
You are coming at a time when security is top-notch on the lips of every Nigeria at this point in time. And a lot of people have been talking about what was witnessed at in Oyo State, in talking about the school where kidnap took place right there. People are asking, is there a similarity between what is happening in Oyo State and some part of Southwest compared to what is happening in the North?
Thank you very much. I want to thank the viewers and thank you for having me on this program. Yes, there is a similarity. The similarity of banditry by some miscreant Fulani herdsmen, and it has not come to the aspect of criminality again, where individuals, both public, civil servants, businessmen, and politicians are taking advantage of what is happening in the country. In the North now, I think if you saw the news in the social media, a special advisor to the governor of Katsina State and trying to go to their assembly was caught to be one of the financiers of kidnappers. What does that tell us? Kidnapping has been so rife in the North, now that people are not taking advantage of making money through it. It started in the North as innocent terrorists trying to kidnap people. Now people are now using criminality to take advantage to make money out of it. So if something becomes something festers for too long without consequences, strong consequences, people will believe that they have money through this because there's a craze for money. Now, if you look at North Sokoto, down I make bold to say that the kinetic energy was the kinetic has been applied to bandits there. They took of the area disappearing a point, and you allow it to just go off like that. It goes through that area that is of less resistance. So they are moved down, and for them to start striking the areas in Southwest, they first hibernate somewhere and look at what is actually happening. They are there. The governor just came, the former and another governor, that there is a potential, there's a probability that is instigated it. Well, it's possible. If you remember what Obadiah Melafia, that former deputy governor of Central Bank said, he said, a governor is sponsoring Boko Haram in the North. What happened after? He was killed mysteriously. So we have to look at it from both sides. The aspect of the terrorists and the aspect of the citizens of Nigeria making it as a criminal aspect to make money.
You said something in the course of this conversation, that if something is happening and there is no strong consequences, it continues to fester. Is that what is happening now?
Yeah, that's the truth. It's normal. Okay, let's look at a typical financial system. Maybe somebody breaks into the banks and steals money. They call the expert in. Oh yeah, what do? Do the risk tax assessment. They block areas they think that a thing like that might happen. So they are proactive like now, somebody sees that this guy has taken so much money, and there are no serious consequence to when he was arrested. What happened to him? Yeah. In my view, why don't we reenact that aspect of firing squad? Because yes, we have the death sentences in the Constitution. Yeah. But when people are being seen to be shot when they are alive, people will be careful about doing such things. Yeah. The state governor, right, by some states now, they said through the passage of their law, terrorism, I mean, when you are being convicted and proved beyond reasonable doubt, attracts the punishment of death sentence. And because of their politicians, it takes long on their table. They drag and drag and drag. At the end of the day, justice is not meted out, and people like that are discharged. But you can use this Terrorism Act of 2022. The government, the president has the right, has the prerogative when it comes to the Terrorism Act. So it takes all the state government and try to met out appropriate consequence to those people that have been caught beyond reasonable that they are actually perpetrators of terror. And sentences say committed in this state. And I've taken it off from the state governor. What we will do now is that go to they'll find. You see, we have the forward operation base of military officers. Yeah. They can say, okay, kill them. They have convinced beyond reasonable that these people are actually perpetrators of this act of terrorism. But we have to be careful too. The Attorney General of the country can as well try to have a special tribunal within that general jurisdiction to try these people because he has a right. I think if you look at Section 252 of the Constitution, it permits the Attorney General to have a special tribunal. So those people that are found to be culpable and they have sufficient evidence, and they must make sure that once those people are caught, because of the international outcry that might come from it, they get their phones and use the forensic experts to extract all this video they post of beheading. So that when people start shouting all over the world, Nigeria is just being barbaric, they'll tell them, come, look at the way they are killing our people. If we continue to like this now, they are coercing them forcefully by this, and those people have fear instilled in them. So let us now instill fear in those people too. The international people will keep quiet.
The act of taking action.
Yeah.
Is it the democracy that is making that, or because we have politicians that is making them to lag behind in taking decisive action?
Yes, democracy is good, and we can't take that from democracy. But as a Democrat, you want to try to embrace the law. So you can't take a brash action. So democracy and politicians are culpable in this aspect. But at the same time, you can take advantage of what you have in the Constitution to prosecute those people that are liable for such things, after being proved beyond reasonable doubt. And we have some people, because sometimes in the social media, it's fair that they said a military man was caught to have aided, the policeman was caught to have aided. The military and the police have a way of trying their personnel. Yeah. In Nigeria, Armed Forces Act, Section 120, that if you assist a terrorist or you collaborate with them and you are found guilty, you go for the death sentence. The maximum sentence is death. And they can convert it to firing squad. So why are we afraid of all those things? If we don't put our feet down, this thing will kill the whole fabric of everything in Nigeria.
Recently, the president has made a pronouncement even deploying forest guards to come to see whether they can be able to do it. What's your own take on this?
It's good to deploy forest guards. Permit me to say that before this federal government pronouncement, there has been one forest guard that has been existing that knows so much about the forest. So why didn't they use them? Okay, to even deploy them. How much have they been? How can they withstand the terrorists? I'm training these innocents that I've never seen what it is when somebody fires, does the live firing. You can deploy after you have settled the whole thing, but not now that something is rife. Okay, you are saying forest guard.
So the timing may be wrong.
It's wrong. People are saying some places are ungoverned. How do you mean for ungoverned? You have local government chairmen. In local government areas, you have DSS personnel there that gives local government, that gives briefing of what is happening there to the local government chairman, who is supposed to report immediately to the governor. And to a large extent, you have a security brief to governor every morning. So why are they not proactive when it comes to them noticing something? But I want to tell you something. Let's look at the aspect of criminality by the Fulanis. Okay. When a Fulani wants to take action on somebody, from my experience, They find a way to get a rendezvous. They hibernate within the areas where some Fulanis are presently located within your area. They sit down there to monitor everything and see how they can, in case of a kidnap, can extricate them. Once you go bush, Fulani, you know, the clue compete ex-Governor Fayose in the Ekiti State. Yeah. When he heard of somebody kidnapping in Ekiti State, he called the head of the Fulani and told him that if he does not provide those people that did this kidnapping, he will make sure that everybody is sent out of the state. What happened? They got the person kidnappers. And what he now did was that he brought this anti-grazing law and said nobody grazes here except you have a ranch. And it works out for him. Nothing happened afterwards. Can you take such actions? I know Edo State and other states, they have I don't know, they have anti-grazing law and things like that. Let them call those people that want them that if anything happens, they will do this and they will do that. That is the aspect of the Fulani terrorism. Now let's look at the aspect of criminality. Because most people are now kidnapping to make money. For crying out loud.
ITV, certainly the best. That's an underground business. They buy precious stones with this money. And
Edo State, are you ready? It's time for the biggest brains to clash.
The 2026 ITV and Radio Inter-School Quiz, Essay and Debate Competition is here.
Primary and secondary schools across Edo State, this is your moment.
Show off your knowledge, your voice, and your ideas. Quiz masters, essay kings and queens, debaters, step up.
Date, Friday, 3rd July, 2026. Time, 9 a.m. prompt.
Venue, Ehizwa Hub Events and Center, 85 Airport Road, Benin City. Win trophies, cash prizes, and the bragging rights for Edo's smartest school.
Teachers, parents, students, mark your calendars.
Register through your school or contact ITV Benin today on payment of 20,000 naira per competition. Quiz competition, primary school only. Essay and debate competition, secondary school only. Essay topic, technology versus culture. Can Nigerian youth keep our tradition alive in a digital age? Debate topic, university education is overrated.
For more information, please contact Special Events Committee on 086-422-6638 or 0902-901-1512. 2026 ITV and Radio Interschools Competition,
where Edo's future leaders are made.
Be there, be smart, be Edo.
This is a knowledge greenhouse. Uncommon thinking that accredited Igbinedion University as the first private university in Nigeria. We call it Blue Sky Thinking. Here, where ambition and creativity drive learners to challenge the present, to discover value that will be demanded by the future. We call ours future-ready graduates, sharpened to ascend new heights through collaboration between university and enterprise, prioritizing creativity, innovative and entrepreneurial thinking to match graduate and industry demands in the global space. Discover how we keep winning laurels through education that de-risks uncertainties of a bold and beautiful future that awaits. Igbinedion University, advancing knowledge and creating opportunities with excellence.
The corporate world is set to exchange football hostility as Independent Television and Radio present its maiden ITV Five-a-Side Corporate Cup, where staffs of financial institutions and corporate bodies in Edo State will trade tackles in a five-a-side football competition with mouth-watering prizes up for grab. This event is scheduled to hold from 4th to 12th June 2026. Venue: University of Benin Teaching Hospital Five-a-Side Football Pitch, Ugbawa, Benin City. Time: 4 p.m. every match day. This event is proudly supported by Honorable Murphy Osaro Omori, member representing Ego and Ikpobaoha Federal Constituency, and Chairman, Parliamentary Friendship Committee, Nigerian and New Zealand. Ambassador Julius Iradia Adun, MD, Iradia Integrated and Logistic, Iradia Estate, Iradia Block Industry, Iradia Sawmill and General Contractor, Omoegbe Omeigi, Chairman, Sound Quarry Association, Edo State, King of Boys, Evonica Community, Oduma 1 of Ovia, aka ATN, Dr. Taiwo Mike, IFOA JP, CEO, Taiwo Solution Farming Enterprise, number 16, Fred Ayore Street, opposite Nelsiki Filling Station, Asuro Slope, Ekenwa Road, Benin City. Boat Investment Limited, the foundation of generational wealth, Jamaba Complex, 38 Wire Road, Benin City. Comrade Bright Apojero Omoviru, Edo State Coordinator, Udua People's Congress, OPC, Director, Bujo Option Ventures, 163 Uselu Lagos Road, off Mela Motel Road, Uselu, Benin City. Mr. Osanwi is Saturday, the Okaigele of Uguzama Community. Mr. Osamede Usunobu, the Okaigele of Ugweze Community. Ambassador Terry Giebo, APC Chieftain, MD CEO, Terrazzo Conglomerate, former member of the Edo State Audit Service Commission and aspirant Edo State House of Assembly, Orion South Constituency in the forthcoming 2027 general election. Mr. Iyobusa IVA Tonwe, aka Ostaino, MD, Able Wood Nigeria Limited, dealer and distributor of doors, frames, roofing wood, furniture wood, and general contractor. Osaze Izevigi, Okaigele Evelekwen Community. Comrade Dominic Edubo, Okaigele Ugbine Community.
New Mill Class Properties Limited. Through us, you can own a land or house and pay later with our easy payment plan. You can opt to pay up in 6 months, 18 months, and you can also pay 1,000 naira every day. Call on us at number 61 Arosa Street by Guadase Junction, First Isekolo Road, Benin City. Telephone number 080-789-48200. New Mill Class Properties Limited, solving your housing problem.
For more enquiries on participation, which is free among financial houses and corporate bodies in Edo State, call 080-338-55158 or 070-3393-5806. ITV Corporate Cup, the ultimate football showdown.
All right, thank you. Thank you one more time. The program's still on your television this morning on ITV. We just had a discussion before we quickly saw what Abuja has with the Honorable Commissioner for Public Safety in Edo State, Festus Epia. And he said so many things, and the way the state government is going about keeping schools secured, making perimeter fences, and in our school. Now, the most, part that he said, the way, the state government's having to train 500 local hunters now and vigilantes in our bushes. So that will further, help in keeping our communities and our societies safe. Well, I still have my co-uncles here, Anu and Wilson. Now, I think very soon we're going to have issues of insecurity in Edo State, somehow done in such a way that it won't be problematic anymore.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I think Mr. Wilson should just attend to everything right now.
Yeah, look, for what the commissioner said, which actually believe that our own security outfit for each local government, you get to realize that the state government is really set to make Edo State have things peaceful reign. Because take a look at the numbers and of course the input of equipment and the logistics given to these particular individuals. Who would have known that that kidnapping Iyowa would have been apprehended yesterday or 2 or 3 days ago thereabout? Because when they were captured, the police said we have to watch, we have to monitor, we have to make sure that we tighten all the knots, and it cannot be effective result. Why? There is a combination of military, paramilitary, civil defense, even the police coming together to make sure that these guys are apprehended. That's what I'm talking about, synergy. And I also know that with our schools that are in session, that what the governor said from what the commissioner said, apart from the perimeter fences, will be having presence of adequate security. So I don't think that it's just in Edo State should be worried a bit about any of those things happening in Edo State now.
Now, Wilson, I also want to talk on, where the commissioner said that the prisons are filled up. That brings me to what Lucky Dube said in his song when he made adverts for, he talked for more schools to be built. But the government won't have, any excuse this time. They have to build more prisons because the prisons are filled up for kidnappers and all that. So that seems to be a good warning from government now, going out to prospective, criminals in our societies, people that would just want to take to crime for reasons best known to them. Because the truth of the matter is that you're not going to do this for long. The security, we catch you. Security agents will catch you eventually. So rather than take into crime, why don't you leave it and live a better life?
Right, well, it's a lot of things to talk about with insecurity, but it's really shocked to see that we're getting feelers that the prisons are now full. It says a lot. And at this point, what should the federal government do? There should be mechanisms put in place to ensure that all of these things are, put in order to bring law and order back into the system. Because it's one thing for you to get these guys, and then it's another thing for you to put them in the right places, and they need to be to, ensure that we flush them out of the system and have a better society moving forward.
Now, talking about the forest guard, you mentioned forest guard that will be trained. And owners also, but now you mentioned of some of them being neutralized because we have this gun battle or gun drill, one will surely go down for the other one to rise. From what the commissioner said first, because after quote him, he said Edo State is one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria. I mean, if you take a look at what is going on in the north, in the southeast, and of course in the southwest, from analysis, from judgment, we'll ask for what is on the pages of the newspaper, and of course the print media. When we talk about the print media also, it's like really, Edo State is almost there. Almost, because we still have issues of kidnapping 2 or 3 days ago along the Catholic Commission along Agbo Road. Issue of kidnapping, you go to the same road also, Auchi, Esa, yes, but still, people by Hill, they talked about between now and Friday, the things have been put on the ground. He exposed some of things that being, done or things already set in motion or put in motion to make sure that this kidnapping thing will almost become a thing of the past in Edo State. So let's watch and pray. Yeah, watch and pray. And we have to pray because they are doing their best now. Because when you are doing your best, then you can pray. After all, faith without work we say is there. But when you are doing your best, you are working, then you can add prayer to it. Not just pray. No, you have to do the work.
Yeah, I think Edo State seems to be lucky now because after what we heard what the president said in Oyo State, having 1,000 local hunters in the bushes, Edo State seems to be the second state to take after that. So it goes to show that the Edo State government is really keen into what the federal government is thinking about. I mean, in the area of keeping communities secured and all that. But away from that now, I think all of us all will have a role to play. We have a role to play. I always say it. The campaign of see something, say something. A lot of us really don't understand how helpful that can be. If you see strange faces in your community, please ask questions. Ask questions. Who are you? Where are you going to? But a lot of us are too busy and we just, let strange people, do their things their own way. Anyway, we'll take a short pause now. We are getting signals now to join Lagos on their discussion segment. The program is still this morning on ITV. Please stay tuned.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really.
This is Cantables. So looked who are online. This is ex-army chief. Good morning and welcome to the country. The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak? Everywhere it's in. So this will look secure and they tricking. It made us Wasinda, and a secure expert. I'm Nigerian citizen. Asked that I should address him like that. So you're welcome, citizen Sam Wasinda. Good morning.
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something. You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot. You cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
He's probably not watching us now, and possible is watching us now. But whatever we say here, if it's against his style of government, they know. And so the same thing happened to those guys who are also displaying it. That's because they also knew that government would see it. So for government to be telling us they can't reach them or they are trying to reach them is unrealistic. Where it becomes and making them on top of their game. But the truth about the matter is that there is no way these people can actually be their game because they have not actually
ITV, certainly the best.
some days, there comes the Uge Mobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Mobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
In a rare display of botanical brilliance, the palm tree defied natural norms, sprouting multiple branches that bear fruits. This rare occurrence
All right, we're still on the program this morning on ITV. Sincere apologies that we cannot put Lagos on their discussion segment. But we are still looking at what seems to be a new way now to fight insecurity in our country, because it seems that the government is getting to understand the situation better. I mean, take for example the federal government, bringing 1,000 security men, hunters into Oyo bushes, and there's Edo State government also taking a cue to put in place 500 local hunters and vigilantes. But the question that we ask is, 18 local government areas in Edo State, what is 500 security hunters going to do? I mean, that's almost a small amount, but it's a good start. The state government has started something, I know.
Well, talking about the 1,000 forest guards, I would love to talk on the national level, because we saw that emanate from the federal government delegation to Oyo State, Oririri local government area right there in Ogbomoso, and it sparked some interesting reactions. I listened to one of the security experts, and he actually said that it's little or nothing, because I don't see the need, according to him, why you would have to, at this point, bring out 1,000 security forest guards. When you look at the tools, the machines, the ammunition, the guns that these bandits and terrorists, these Boko Haram guys use to, cause all of the mayhem, and then you're now bringing forest guards who have a little or no techniques or little or no equipment attached to what they are going to carry out, in a situation where we have soldiers, we have the army, we have military officers, military men who haven't been able to fight banditry up until the letter. It's not forest guards that will be able to, nip everything and ensure that the right things and insecurity in the country is actually eradicated completely. So that's been a conversation online, but it's a whole lot of things to do at this point. And I listened to Wike, where he was actually telling Nigerians and some persons not to politicize what is going on, because what we were talking about, it's really, really serious. And I feel we shouldn't even politicize it, because I think at some point that it's going to tilt, or it's already tilting towards that, that direction. And we're looking forward to how everything unravels at this point. And we're also hoping that we'll get a statement from the president to come out to, actually hear his voice and just say, we commiserate with you. Aside from the press release, aside from Bayo Onanuga always been on the front line and talking about things, we also need the first man in Nigeria to address the issue of insecurity. Is the state government or the federal government overwhelmed? What is the situation at this point?
Okay. Now we're saying this kidnapped victims taken to bushes. So the government of the day now trying to have more local hunters and vigilantes in our bushes. So would that help in any way?
Well, let's say it will help in a lot of ways. Now, I know you talked about, it's like, to me, you have the picture of old hunters, old forest guards. Right now, from what the National Security Advisor is all about, is like, get this man that knows the terrain, that knows your bushes, that knows the forest. They hunt there. Bring them, we train them, we give them weapons upgrade.
That is the aim thing right now. And of course, with our ancestral powers in court right now, that one of our shield, who are you getting them up?
You say ancestral powers?
No, of course, because you just can't divorce this from African magics. No, that's a point. Right now. No, see, I mean, the picture is this. As it stands right now, these bandits, these kidnappers, these terrorists, it's like they have now gotten to a point whereby they tend to know the forest even more than so many indigents of that particular locality. So the only way to counteract them, the only way to checkmate them is to bring hunters that do this for a living. They go into these bushes, they know the terrain. That will give them another advantage. Now, if you bring them out, you train them, you equip them, give them almost the same weapon as these bandits. I'm telling you the truth, the bandits, the terrorists, they will not stand a chance. Now, aside that, it's an addition to the force we already have. Do you understand? It's like all these forest guards don't be taken from outside of the community, no. People that are living in that community, that they know where these hideouts are, they are scared because they're not equipped. They're ill-equipped. Right now, they give you the equipment, they give you the training. To me, it's an added advantage. They can do what many soldiers cannot do because they have the map of their community in their mind.
Are you indirectly saying that soldiers are not well equipped or well trained to fight out insecurity in the country?
That's
another conversation.
One thing is for you to be well equipped. The other thing is for you to know the terrain. That is where our soldiers are feeling it because of the sabotage. You understand it? If they know the terrain, they speak the language, they've been there for quite a long time, they know how to avoid danger. You may be having the armored tank personnel carrier, you may be having the lizard. If you don't know the terrain, you'll be defeated with ease. Just a point of entry.
Yeah, Wilson, I think I want to support your points because when you actually understand the terrain, it will help a long way to fight the insecurity we are facing now. But let me just make a little wish this morning. How I wish these local vigilantes and hunters now that the government is taking into our bushes, how I wish they will go back to what happened in 1897. You know, talking about the Benin massacre, when the likes of Asoro was a great Benin warrior, you know, that fought the British power. The likes of excuse me.
You're talking about the African magic I was talking about before.
Yeah, the likes of Captain Phillips, Captain Ruppel, and all that. Now, you needed to see how those Benin warriors actually fought. They fought in the forest, they fought in the bushes. The places that we call town today, take for example, have you ever imagined why we have Asoro Road? You know, Asoro was a warrior that had to lay ambush.
Yeah, I know that
he laid ambush around Asoro, the present-day Asoro Road for those British you know, invaders.
And those are the guys that know the terrain.
Yes, and
they know
the only reason why those British invaders, now Captain Phillips and co, the only reason why they could have upper hand was that the kind of weapons,
superior weapons,
it was then guns and all that then. But the likes of Asoro, they didn't have, what they used were machetes, you know, bows and arrows, spears and all that. So now that we have a government that is now seeing the need to bring local vigilantes that understand the terrain
and we equip them
and equip them, teach them on modern sophisticated crime fighting equipment and all that, guns and all that. I think it will have a long way to go. But there is something we need to talk about because the issue of insecurity in Nigeria seems to have taken over, you know, I don't want to say the average Nigerian. I mean, you talk about the security personnel. You and I know the accusations leveled against our security men most of the times. I mean, at times we've seen situations whereby these kidnappers, they even drive past our security agents in our various checkpoints and all that because of they get something, the allegations and all that. So now that the government is thinking of bringing local vigilantes into our bushes and all that, I think the government also need to think out of their cap on how to see how they can discourage these guys from the cankerworm of corruption that seems to have eaten into you know, most Nigerians' hearts. So because that seems to be a very big issue, I know.
Well, I'm just still going to stand on my ground and I just say that this is Nigeria, really. It's not the first time we hear the federal government come out with amazing, beautiful initiative. Over time in Nigeria, we've heard the Safe School Initiative, what was done, what has been done regarding it. And now this new Oyo School abductions, let's not also forget Borno State also had similar situation. I don't even know why it's not in the news as the way it is in the news with Oyo State. So this is not the first time we're hearing the government come out with beautiful, amazing policies and initiatives that would help stop all of these things. Because the last time we had a bigger case of insecurity, I'm trying to remember the state now, if it's Kogi State, where the president went to and spent, you know, a couple of minutes in the airport. We had the minister
in Plateau State.
In Plateau State, right?
Yes.
Thank you. We had the Minister of Communication actually say, you know what, we're going to have cameras, we're going to have CCTV cameras, you know, stationed in different parts of the state. Did that happen? We didn't even get a follow-up to that, and now we are seeing the state government talking about 1,000 forest guards. Would that eradicate it completely? Hope it is not a situation of just responding and reacting to the situation and not finding a lasting solution to this, because I feel like at this point a lot of Nigerians are tired. There are those who would say that nobody is safe right now. The only persons who are safe, the few persons that are safe are the politicians with armed bodyguards and armed security men. Should we resort to self-defense? Over time we've had that conversation, but in a situation when the Minister of Defense is saying we should pray, you know, the federal government is also saying we should pray, Wilson is saying we should perhaps go back to the African way of protecting ourselves and having all of those, you know, wonderful powders and, you know, incantations. Like, is that the way to go? It's funny, but then again, it's really not funny. I feel like I really don't know, but I just sense that interesting process might just be, you know, coming in front when all Nigerians would hit the street to just air their view, because amidst all of this, we're also fighting hardship, we're fighting poverty. 140 million Nigerians are currently living under the poverty line, according to the World Bank and IMF. And now we're having the federal government of the day saying all of the reforms I have put out are working. Amidst all of the insecurity, you know, situation that we're going through at this point, it's really a lot for Nigerians. And it's also a lot and more mental work for journalists, reporters, you know, presenters who every time we come on stage and come on air to tell you about all of these things. I feel like we even need to go for, you know, mental health check.
Yeah, mental health check. Let me speak to a straight. Let's see, from what the U.S. said, 30,000 of these marauders are in the country, from their own report. Now, yesterday's news, when we were here, like, you know, taking the news from the testimony of that one that was captured, they said there were just 7 terrorizing Iowa. 7. Now, just imagine us having our own forest guard just to add to what we have on the ground, combing the forest. They won't go alone. They have their drones, because everything is now tech-based. Aside the African magic and the rest of them, you have to have this modern tech also to combat this. Good equipment, technology-green equipment, and of course, with the zeal of the people, back with enough money given to them in case anything happens. You talk about security, insurance, and all that. If they can do this, they can recapture their forest, they can recapture their land, one bit at a time, 1 square mile at a time. Like what the commissioner said, that what's been happening. These guys, they just cash in on weakness of soft targets. They go to farm settlements, go to camps, soft yes, go to camps when they don't have resistance, and they cause mayhem. Now, if our forest guard, in addition to military, police, and the rest of them come together, just start coming, one forest to the other, believe you me, with determination and sincerity of purpose. Don't forget the sincerity of purpose from both the government of the day. Whatever you promise this land, you give it to them. You don't need to delay, withdraw, or will last. This is the promise made to them, because these are human beings, they have families also that depends on them. You give them what is due them. I'll tell you, this will just be a thing of the past. And the government also should forget about sentiment, forget about ethnicity, forget about religion, forget about tribalism. It's affecting everybody. You go straight for the jugular of this person is making Nigerians uncomfortable. Now, they're saying that the beginning politics today, yes, we're hearing people that are supporters of APC saying because we're the one in charge, so So everyone wants to mess us up. Now you knew they were going to mess you up. What did you do? What have you done to counter it? Mr. President is the commander-in-chief. I've said it before. These guys will want to mess up your government by making it ungovernable. Some of them can even sponsor allegedly. So you know, what are you doing?
Yeah. We're saying, let me quickly, just wrap it up on the area where you talked about sincerity of purpose. The common purpose now is for us to get our societies, our communities back safe. That should be the common purpose for governments and, of course, the inhabitants of these communities, which is we, you and I. Now, the sincerity now comes in from the part of the government, like what you were trying to say. If government says they are going to support in X, Y, Z, ways, it should be that way.
Yeah.
Now, also the sincerity should also come from those that government is going to entrust this trust into their hands, the local hunters and all that. Now, let me take you back to what you said about Iyowa. Iyowa, the convention that the guy made, that there are just seven terrorizing Iyowa. 7 people
just
terrorizing a whole community. That is total, very small. Now, where the insincerity now of purpose now comes in is that at times, most of we, community managers, the Okaigi, some of them, these community managers most times, they compromise. Do you understand? Because there's no way you tell me that 7 persons terrorizing a whole community when you buy a piece of land from a community, before you want to develop it, before you say Jack Robinson, more than 20 guys will be on you. Then you tell me that only 7 persons terrorizing a whole community. So there's a lot of compromise. So that's the problem. So not until we stop this compromising, this insincerity of purpose, whereas it has to be sincerity of purpose, there's no way we can have a headway. Because the truth of the matter is that it will come to you tomorrow if you don't take action. That's just it.
It will come to
yeah, I mean, if you don't take action.
The president said we should pray. So it will not come
excuse me. When you see, I don't want to blaspheme against God. I don't want to say that God is tired of your prayers. I know as a Nigerian.
God cannot be tired of.
But that seems because you are not the only person that God has created on earth. God is tired of Nigerians, so we need to take action. Let's take action in our hands. If you don't take action today, it will come to you. If I don't take action today, it will come to me. That's what we're saying.
You look at all those things for crying out
loud. Well, gentlemen, we really need to wrap up right now and give chance for the news. It's been a great, amazing, wonderful submission thus far. But let's just hope that the right things are done and the federal government takes action moving forward.
ITV, certainly the best.
The Ugewe is the final ceremony of the series of festivals. It is one of peace and lightheartedness, following the more solemn of the ritual year. Ugewe is the festival of the Ewe leaves, a symbol of good luck and joy. It is the most popular of all that heralds the dawn of a Benin New Year, new vow, newness of life and freshness of life, and a new hope for the future. In the evening, the Aware leaves are presented to the Oba of Benin in grand style.
A lovely morning to you, and thanks for joining us on ITV News for this time. I am Harry Igboje. The Edo State Police Command has exhumed the bodies of 2 kidnapped victims allegedly murdered by their abductors in Isukuhu community of their northeast local government area of the state. The shocking discovery followed the arrest of a suspected member of a kidnapping syndicate who led police operatives to the shallow graves weeks after the victims were abducted. The victims were reportedly killed despite the payment of ransom by their families. Crime correspondent Jola Adeojo has details.
Grief and anguish overwhelmed residents of Isuku community as officers of the Edo State Police Command Violent Crimes Response Unit arrived at the suspected kidnapper to the site where 2 victims were buried. The suspect, 24-year-old Aruna Musa, allegedly led investigators to the graves of the victims, bringing a tragic end to weeks of uncertainty for their families. The victims were abducted on May 9, 2026, when armed kidnappers reportedly invaded the residence of 66-year-old Favor Nusakai in Iowa. Mrs. Nusakai, a daughter, and a domestic aide were taken away by the assailant. One of the survivors and daughter of the deceased, Annabelle Emmanuel, says the family met the kidnappers' demand. Despite this, a mother and another victim were allegedly killed.
Yes, my family paid ransom. 11 million naira with other things they asked them to buy.
The suspect, identified as a cattle herder, confessed that the gang operates along the Benin-Lagos and Benin-Akure expressways. He disclosed that the 7-member syndicate was responsible for a series of kidnapping operations in the area and claimed he was recruited into the criminal network by a gang member known simply as Doctor.
If I tell them I know they go, me myself, then they kill us.
Public Relations Officer of the Edo State Police Command, ASP Enoy Korodem, says police intelligence-led operations led to the rescue of surviving victims on May 19, 2026, and the eventual arrest of the suspect.
About 4 of the kidnappers were sighted, and they engaged in a gun duel, and some of them escaped with gunshot injury. And ever since then, we have been on their trail.
Police say efforts are ongoing to apprehend fleeing suspects and ensure victims and their families get justice. In Edo, Jola Adeojo, ITV News.
Teachers in Edo State on Tuesday staged a solidarity protests in Benin City demanding the immediate release of dozens of pupils and teachers abducted from Community High School in Oriri local government area, Oyo State. Joe Baisiamo reports that a protest led by Edo State NUT chairman, Mr. Lucky Aimawelugu, kicked off at the Edo State Teachers House, Ogida Barracks, Benin City.
We're here in Benin City on Siloko Road precisely, where teachers are protesting in solidarity with the children of Oyo and the teachers that were kidnapped. They are demanding the immediate release of these children. Following the May 15th attack on 3 schools in Orire local government area of Oyo State, which left several people dead and dozens in captivity, Edo teachers came out in large numbers, chanting solidarity songs through the streets of Benin City.
Another challenge.
Addressing journalists, Edo NUT chairman Mr. Lucky Imarawewu described the demonstration as a warning protest to government at all levels, warning that the union would do the needful if urgent action is not taken to secure the release of the victims.
We are calling on government to see how they can do everything within their reach to ensure immediate release of these persons. And that's why we are out this morning as teachers. And as we speak, this is happening across the United States of the Federation. Not just only here in Edo State.
He said teachers, children and parents now live in fear and do not know who the next victim will be.
We ourselves, we are pained too, because it is their turn today. We don't know who next. And so that's our pains, and we sympathize with them. Our plea is that God rescue them on time.
Traders at a nearby market also lent their voices, appealing to the government to secure the freedom of the victims.
We still get children. Nobody when that thing go happy for when go they happy. At least our government for come on, may they help us to release those children. God, they are suffering. Because the children, they suffer for them, they beat them, they suffer them, they do them anyhow. We don't know as them before. They beg government, I beg, release them for us, release them for the mother.
From Benin, Joy Obaisiagbon, ITV News.
And the Managing Director of Independent Television and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, has assured the leadership of the Basic Medical Science Students Association, BAMSA, University of Benin, of adequate support in achieving success in its forthcoming annual health week, scheduled to hold from June 9th to June 12th, 2026. He gave the assurance during the association's courtesy visit to the management and Independent Television and Radio, Benin City. Patience Usarogiwa completes the report.
Speaking on the purpose of the visit, President of Basic Medical Science Students Association, University of Benin, Comrade Dominio Yangi, said the week-long program tagged Synergy, the Science of Health and Heritage, is aimed at bridging the gap between academic medical excellence and community awareness through health awareness campaigns and outreach activities. Comrade Yangi expressed confidence that with the support of ITV and radio, the event will be a huge success.
We currently have what we do yearly. It's a yearly program that captivates or captures student engagement in health, wealth, well-being, and social activities such as outreach, sports, symposium, and other activities for that particular week.
In his remarks, Engineer Elvis Obaseki commended the initiative of the leadership of the association and pledged the station's support through adequate media coverage.
We'll cover your symposium and we'll cover your dinner. It will be easier for you to share your information, because what we are also doing intentionally, we are coming here. We are moving heavily towards the handhelds. It will be useless to you if you don't like, follow, and subscribe, because people will not see. Your friends will not see what you have done.
The Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Lady Serena Ojomo, Executive Director Operations, Chief Elder Ogbede Nwose, Director Independent Radio, Pastor Dan Omozuzi, were among the senior management staff who attended the meeting at the corporate headquarters of the station at Glass House Airport Road, Benin City. From Benin, Patience Osaugiwa, ITV News.
And to other stories, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has emphasized that beyond ongoing legislative efforts to enhance women's participation in politics, women must also work harder at the grassroots to build trust and gain public confidence. She made this known while meeting with APC women leaders in her office. Ehis Hunamure has details.
The First Lady's position on women's inclusion in politics, particularly following the recent APC primary elections, comes shortly after she presented buses to the women's wing of the party during a solidarity visit to her office. That donation is intended to support their operations as they take on a key role in citizens' engagement and voter education ahead of the 2027 general elections. Through an advocacy platform, she also urged the women to deepen grassroots advocacy efforts while equipping themselves with the necessary education and capacity to stand out in the offices they aspire to occupy.
Tell all the women, you can do party work, but make sure you raise good children, good families. You come back, care for your children, because all this, restiveness we are seeing around stems from the home. So we have to make sure that our home is solid.
Reinforcing the call for greater participation, APC National Women Leader Mary Alile described the women's wing as the backbone of the party's grassroots mobilization strategy ahead of the upcoming polls. The meeting ended on a sober note with a moment of reflection on the passing of the APC Southwest Zonal Women Leader Yetunde Adesanya, who died over the weekend. Ehis Ohunamure, ITV News.
And the federal government has begun a strategic tree planting program along the Ilela-Sokoto axis of the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, with the Minister of State for Works, Bello Goronyo, lauding the Bola Tinubu administration for delivering what he described as transformative infrastructure projects. Speaking when he inspected ongoing construction works and the takeoff of the roadside tree planting program, on behalf of the Minister of Works, David Umahi, Goronyo described the highway as a landmark national project that will drive economic growth, strengthen national unity, enhance connectivity, and create new opportunities for communities across Nigeria. The minister disclosed that approximately 120 kilometers of the highway are currently under construction along the Sokoto axis, with significant progress of 20 kilometers having already been recorded. According to him, solar lights are being installed on the continuous reinforced concrete pavement designed to ensure durability and lower maintenance costs. He noted that 1,068-kilometer highway, which will connect with the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, represents a strategic transportation corridor capable of transforming trade, mobility, security, and regional integration across the country. And that report wraps it on the news for this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Harry Igboje. Good morning.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain, which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity
to be down, then the risk of contacting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking about. That's what I said. So when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child.
Welcome to TMI Socials, where we talk about trending stories on social media and, of course, people's reaction about a particular story. I am Marcelina Unkwo, and it is another beautiful Wednesday morning. All right, so we would be talking about, saw a trending video of the ransom these bandits, collect from victims. And, they were just it around the social media. It's just like, okay, we are flaunting it, showing it around. There is that would happen about it. And a lot of persons have been saying, does it mean that this bandits works with the government for them to, courage, have the mind to money that they collect some for social media face. She's telling me nothing. This particular video has sparked a lot of reactions on social media. Remember, different people with their different reactions. Take a look at the video. Okay, let's take a look at people's reaction about this particular video. This person said this video hits differently. Seeing this mountain of cash laid out like ordinary goods is a painful reminder. Creative kidnap become in country. The real question isn't just who's paying, but why the system keeps allowing the cycle to thrive. All right, let's take a look at another reaction. This other person, Lillian, says some kidnappers seems to be living better than honest people. When crime appears more rewarding than hard work, it's not surprising that some people are tempted to go down that path. Let's take a look at another reaction. And it says, once deceive yourself that these illiterates own the money. Believe me, there's Ogun State, the angry protesters, they were trying to enter the Ogun State Secretariat, but some policemen were actually stopping them, and they broke in and they actually forcefully entered the secretariat, Ogun State Secretariat. And this particular video has been trending on social media, and it has gotten a lot of people talking, you know, concerning the Oyo State security, the insecurity in the state. We've been seeing, especially the one that recently happened in Oyo, seeing a couple of persons, you know, going out to protest, bring back our children, bring back the teachers. But this particular video has sparked a lot of reactions on social media. Take a look at the videos before we go to the reactions. People's reaction. This person says protesters are not hooligans. Allow them to register their presence and let whosoever wants the government speak to the people. Why is Ogun State government creating problems for themselves? The Ogun governor should join hands with Oyo to see that those people are rescued. Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. Those are Deji said, ministries and presidents need to now don't nest the boldness of Fulham. They can enter God kidnap. Need to come out and find solution. Danger. Say second reaction. That the to the event. You made the day. We in the government can do their responsibilities. Let's take a look at another reaction. This other person says, when the people are united, they can move mountains. Our leaders know that, and that is why they always try to divide us. Interesting. Okay, that is for that. Let's take a look at another reaction. This gate is a typical example of the Nigeria security system. Interesting. Another user says, this is another reminder that they are not more than us. Okay, that is for that. And our last story we would be talking about today is still on the protest yesterday in Port Harcourt, where the people were chanting must go. Nigerians are hungry. I mean, these people are angry, they are hungry, and now at this point they want the president to resign. And this particular protest video sparks a lot of reactions, saying Tinubu must go. The people are hungry. Nigerians are hungry. Take a look at the videos before we go. Sections. Take a look at people's reaction. This user says, let's conserve this energy in advocating for PVC and going to the polling unit to vote and defend it until it is sent to appropriate quarters. Okay, let's take another reaction. This other person said, question, can we assume all those PVC, they do come out to vote in the general election with a vote out? Say, let's take a reaction. It says, all cities in Nigeria should actually be on shutdown if Nigeria were. Okay, this other use, it's getting loud. The entire nation on total shutdown. Charity is getting out of. Okay, that is for the people hit the streets over hunger, no longer political pressure. Economic pain always finds a voice. The real test of leadership is not ignoring it, but fixing it. Hunger is a signal. Listen or lose it. Okay, that is for that. This is all we've got for you on TMI Socials. This beautiful morning from our Lagos Network studio. Thank you all our viewers for joining. Our Lagos Network studio, Abuja Network studio, and our Benin Network studio. On this morning, I am Reselina. Do have a beautiful day ahead of you.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.